Hey class, this video is to share with you the answer key for our Chapter 3 formative. So we'll review here. If we take a look at that first problem, remember this is a problem solving standard. So if we look at it, it says Alina wants to make a mixed CD of her favorite songs. The CD has 60 minutes of available space. Alina wonders how many songs she will be able to include on her CD. So she wants to wonder, or she is wondering, how many songs she'll be able to include. She looks online and finds a source that states that the average song length is 3.5 minutes. If this is true, how many songs will Alina be able to include on her CD? Show your work, simplify if needed. Quite a few things I need to do there. Explain how many songs Alina will have to include or be able to include on her CD. Show our work, simplify as needed. So if I'm looking at this problem, she has 60 minutes of available space. And the average song length is 3.5 minutes. So I have 60 minutes. I need to split up among 3.5 minute segments. So using what I've practiced, I know that when I'm splitting something up, I'm dividing. So I'm going to divide 60 minutes by 3.5 minutes, and that should tell me how many songs I'd be able to fit on that CD. So I'm going to divide this, and I'm going to rewrite 60 as 60 over 1, and then I'm going to divide. I'm going to use that big fraction bar to indicate my division. So I'm dividing 60 over 1, or 60 minutes, by 3.5 minutes. Now 3.5 minutes, if I just write this up here, is equal to 7 halves, because you have 2 parts in the whole. You have 3 wholes, which means that you'll have 6 over 2 just for the 3 wholes, plus 1, which would be 7 over 2. So it'd be 60 over 1 divided by 7 over 2 if I write that as a fraction. Now comes the important part. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And the multiplicative inverse property states that when I multiply the reciprocal of a fraction, so 7 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 7 is going to equal 1. This is important because we want our denominator or divisor, so that's our divisor, to be 1. If that happens, we can kind of forget about that divisor, just focus on the numerator. And that's what we're able to do here because we got the denominator to 1. So we multiply by 2 over 7 in the numerator because anything you do to the bottom or anything you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator because you need to keep it consistent. And that would equal 127ths. Now there's nothing I have to do with the divisor because anything divided by 1 is itself. So it's still going to stay 127ths. So I'm going to divide to find my quotient. So 100 can't be split up into 7 groups, but 12 tens can. How many times? Once. So I would use 7 tens and I'd have 5 left over. But I can't split them up into 7 groups, so I need to regroup into ones. And now I have 51s split up into 7 groups. And that would be 7 in each group. 7 times 7 is 49. So I would have 1 left over. So my exact answer here would be 7, or exact quotient would be 17 and 1/7. But now I have to think about the problem. We're making songs on a CD. Would it make sense to have 1/7 of a song? Probably not. So I'm going to round my 1/7 of a song to 17 songs. So thinking about the problem, if I'm going to write this accurately. The problem is about Alina. So I'm going to make Alina part of my response. Alina. And the question was how many songs, right, can include 17 songs. It's tough to write on here. On her CD. Now, if I was really good, I would say you can include 17 songs on her CD because you can't have 1/7 of a song. It wouldn't make sense to have 1/7 of a song on a CD, so you'd round it down. Right. If we look at the next problem, it says Allie found her granny's bread recipe. She wants to make 8 loaves of bread instead of 1 so she can share them with her family. How many cups of flour will Allie now need for a recipe? Again, show your work, simplify if needed. So the info that I need to look at is over here with the recipe. So I have flour, milk, butter, buckwheat, yeast, honey, salt, oatmeal. I need flour. So I'm going to circle that. You have 2 1/4 cups of whole wheat flour in the recipe for 1 loaf of bread. So that's 1 loaf. I want to figure out how much is in 8 loaves of bread. So I need to multiply that. Okay, I'm not asking to split something up. I'm being asked to have additional number of loaves, multiple loaves. So we have to multiply by that number of loaves, which is 8. So I'm going to have 2 1/4 multiplied by 8. Okay, that will be my step. Now, or that will be my process for solving this problem. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. One way is partial products. So in this case, I could take 2 times 4 and let me erase that. Spoke a little too soon. Not 2 times 4, 2 times 8. So there we go. 2 times 8 plus 2 times 1/4. Okay? So I can do that partial products, multiply both 2 by 8 and 1/4 by 8 because I have to multiply that whole 2 1/4 by 8. Okay? And if I do that, it would be 16 plus, and 2 times, sorry, shouldn't be 2 times 1/4, it should be 8 times 1/4 because it's 8 loaves of bread. So 8 times 1/4 is 2, and then that would equal 18. Okay, so that's one way to multiply those two. The other way is with improper fractions. So 2 1/4 is an improper fraction, would be 9/4 multiplied by 8 over 1, and that equals 72 over 4. 72 divided by 4 does also equal 18. Now, one last way that I could do this is by simplifying. I have 9/4 multiplied by 8 over 1. What does that equal? Well, I can simplify 8 and 4 because they have 4 as a common factor. So divide both by 4. The 4 becomes 1, the 8 becomes 2, and then I have 9 times 2, which is 18, and 1 times 1, so it'll be 18. So how many cups of flour will Allie need? Allie will need 18 cups of flour. Remember, a complete label based on the problem is what I need for a complete and accurate response. All right, thanks for watching. Check back for the precision video.